It took me quite some time to edit something. I've got a video that I want to insert. This video is going to give you a picture of what happened. Now, do you know that Brigadier Gininda and Mboto worked together as far as 2013 in one of the cases? Is it in Cleveland or Soweto, somewhere around there? It's case number 267/12/2013. Now listen to this one. On that case, there was a confession that a suspect on that case confessed. Brigadier Gininda was part and parcel of the people who were working in that multidisciplinary team. It was a team comprised of many brigadiers and colonel, but many of these, people in position. Look, it was a team of such people who were investigating that. Now, so Gininda was involved in that case, but he says, no, I was not a lead investigator, but I was part of the investigators on that case. 1. 2, there's a confession on that case. 3, the confession is done to Mboto. Then listen to Gininda justifying that. He says, no, but I never worked with him. Just because the person who organized, the person who must take the confession was not Gininda didn't work with him. But listen to this one. This is to say, I want you to listen to this one. Gininda implicating himself, Buffett. Yeah, what are the things that we are seeing in that court? This is like, Gininda is a lead investigator in the cold case unit, right? There is Mohwane and Mohola, and then there is Mboto, there is one, I forgot the other ones. But let's focus on these 3. So imagine Mohola or Mohwane, one of the two. Imagine one of the two comes back and say, listen, me, I never worked with Mboto. I'm talking about the confession that he took during 2020. Imagine one of them says to you, I never worked with Mboto, but the confession from this accused was taken by Mboto. Just because you were never a lead investigator, then you say, but I never worked with him. Okay, guys, you think I'm insane? You think Mina? I probably have lost my mind. That's what you think. You know the things that we are hearing in court will shock you. Because some of you think that I'm fabricating this. Me, Mr. Evidence, I'm going to ask you one favor. I will come back at the end. I'm going to ask you to listen attentively. You will notice Gininda implicating himself in the video. This video that I want you to listen, it's a very long video. It's 10 minute to 11 minute long video. I couldn't have edited further than this. I needed to give you this so that you can get the context, so you can understand something. But me, time waster. Suga. Let people listen. Here.
The proceedings of the proceedings of the 20. No, this is page number. The proceedings of the 28th November 2023. 28th November 2023, which was a trial within a trial, on page number 26. This is what you told the court. My Lord, Now, this is your testimony. Lieutenant Colonel Khadebe also was not privy to these investigations. He was never part of it before, and I've never worked with him. My Lord, I simply provided him with the case number and also made necessary arrangements for the photographer to be present on the day of the pointing out. And furthermore, that Sergeant Mohane will be the one engaging him insofar as the movement of the accused to Alberton Police Station. And I communicated such to both of them, my Lord. Thank you, Brigadier. Are you then suggesting, Brigadier, that Lieutenant Khadebe would not have known which office to contact for purposes of arranging a photographer that would have accompanied him to the pointing out?
No, I'm not suggesting that, my Lord. That is how we stand. So, for example, that is why even when the confession for accused one was taken by Colonel Mboto, the request to move accused one from where he was to Colonel Mboto was made to me. So in arrangement of such, it's not an unusual. In all confessions and pointing out that I participated, even myself, where I had to conduct pointing out, because I've done that, I have made such requests where I will say, what is the area that is responsible for taking photographs in that area? So you will solicit, rather request that information from the IO. Then subsequent to that, you then make your own arrangement according to availability. But there was nothing untoward with that part, my Lord. And it doesn't suggest that the person may know, may not know. It's just same as a request of saying, bring the relevant person to this spot. You ask the IO. You don't say, I'll come and fetch it. You say, you bring him to this spot, and that's where you comment. Same with a photograph. You may make a request to say, give me the relevant section or office that is dealing with photographs. Thereafter, you make your own arrangements according to the time that you want to conduct the pointing out, my Lord.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, I said I'll come back to the issue of Lieutenant Colonel Mboto or Colonel Mboto as well. Now, just love to extract what Colonel Mboto told to this court. On the 13th of October 2023, those are the proceedings.
Yes, my Lord.
On page 66, this is what he told to this court while being cross-examined by Mr. Ramusipili. He says to the court, okay, Mr. Ramusipili, ask him. Indeed so, my Lord. Colonel, when Brigadier at the time Gininda asked you to assist with the taking down statement, was it for the first time that you have had such a request from him? Then Mboto says, specific for him to take a call and call me, it was the first time. Did you know him as a person before Gininda? The answer from Mboto is, I knew him as a police officer. Close.
It's what I said, my Lord. I did say that I know him as well. I indicated that the first time I knew him, I think he was a branch commander in Cleveland. So he is saying that I knew him as a police officer. I'm not so sure whether I should comment to something else, my Lord.
Thank you, Brigadier. I note that you not commenting about him saying that never worked with you before.
No. But that's why I said I agree with him, my Lord. It's what I've said. I've never worked with him before. That is the position. I've never worked with him as well. I agree with him, my Lord.
Thank you. And indeed, on the 22nd of January 2024, on page 49, you are confirming exactly what you're just saying now, why it's been cross-examined by Mr. Mgomezulu. Gomezulu put it to you as follows, and you said you did not know Colonel Mboto. Am I correct? And your answer to that question was, no, I said I've never worked with him and he was not privy to the investigation.
Indeed, my lord, that is correct. The only person that I recall that I've said, and that is the position that I did not know, was Colonel Rapadu. That was the first time I spoke to him when he assisted me, and it was the first time I met him when I fetched the confession from him. But insofar as Mboto, that has been my position, my lord.
Now, thank you, Brigadier. With that in mind, let us proceed to the next phase of that issue. Now, Brigadier, is it correct that in the course and scope of your duties, you also did some cases that were reported around Meadowlands and Cleveland around 2014?
If I can get specific in terms of the case numbers, my lord, because I did a lot of cases.
Athina kuma ngathola ke ama case number ke lapho ke uqondile ngoba maningi amacala asasebenze kuwona ke.
Thank you. Now, I'm not so sure whether you remember Meadowlands case 26712 of 2013.
Yes, I do recall that case, my lord.
We will not get into the merits of the case.
Athi ngeke siqiniza ngokujulile ke kuqala lelo ke.
Thank you.
Understood, my lord.
Is it correct, therefore, Brigadier, that in the course and scope of your investigation of that case, one of the accused in that case, I don't want to use the term volunteered because I don't know what happened, but one before I arrived there. Do you agree that you were an investigating officer there?
No, no, it was not a single case, my lord. That case came as a result of the multidisciplinary tax team that was assembled by then General Biyaga, was the National Commissioner. I was part of the investigators, my lord.
Thank you. Now, being part of the team of investigators, is it correct that in the course and scope of the investigation of the team, one of the accused persons in that case, whose name is really not necessary for these proceedings, ended up making a confession before Colonel Mboto?
That is correct, my lord.
And that was in 2014 or so?
I can't be certain, my lord, but it could be around that time, 2014, 2015. It is possible, my lord. I just don't have the correct date, but it's not far. If it's not 2014, then it's not far from there, my lord.
Thank you. Now, the confession that just a second. The confession that Colonel Mboto took from the accused was on the 5th of June 2020. No. Was on the 30th of May 2020, not so? 2020.
Athi la confession that ayithatha kumnumzana uMbotho kade kuyilanga la nge-30 zaka May ngonyaka 2020.
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
And this is almost 7 or 6 years after you had worked with Mboto in another case where Mboto took a confession where you were also the investigating officer, not so?
Wathathe kungemuva komnyaka eyisithupha noma iminyaka esikhombisa ke ngemuva thona usebenzela uMnumzana kuMbotho ke kuleli ke icala laqala ngomnyaka 2013 akusenjalo.
No, that's not so. That's not accurate. Firstly, my lord, I did not work with Colonel Mboto. That is the position then, and still the position up to the time he retired. That's the first part. And secondly, as I've said, it was the multidisciplinary tax team that was coordinated by the National Commissioner. It consisted of the Deputy National Commissioners, Generals and Brigadiers, and Crime Intelligence. I was just one of the investigators. That confession, my lord, came as a result of an arrangement that was made by the late General Ndlovu. He was part of the provincial office, and he is the one that made contact with Colonel Mboto.
Thank you, Brigadier, for that explanation. Now,
The idea here was that I needed to show you something that I don't know if people noticed this, but it is very, very, very important. You see the example that I made when I say on cold case unit, there are three names that have came up time and again. Leave the likes of Jonathan, who are working for the unit, this Metropolis SWAT unit. Leave those guys who were there for security. Leave those ones. Their names does not feature in this prominently in the cold case unit. Leave the likes of the very same Colonel Mboto and the others. Leave them. Their names doesn't feature prominently as members of the cold case unit. Leave them. Let's focus on people whose name comes up time and again, and they have confirmed that they are members of the cold case unit. Make it make sense to me. Mkhola, which is a female. Mkhwane, which is a male. Led by Brigadier Gininda, who is a lead investigator. Now, you tell me, Mkhwane comes back tomorrow and says, I've never worked with Mboto. But Mboto was the one who was taking confession. Mkhola, probably, I forgot on which confession he was driving this accused. Does it make sense? Or let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. Imagine you and I, we collaborate on a certain thing. And in our collaboration, because it's my initiative, tomorrow you come back and you say, no, I never worked with a business partner that was invited by me or a company that we provided service to. Imagine you saying that. Does it make, is there any logic there? You cannot tell me that Gininda gives, you know where Gininda, where he lost it. Gininda, if he wanted to create the idea that he doesn't know Mr. Mboto, at least he should have said, he should have portrayed himself as a person who knows nothing about this man, who, you know what I'm saying? But you know, if you didn't see this, go back, watch few videos. Just go back and watch few videos. Not few videos. Watch back. Go back and listen to him describing Mboto. And you're like, this man, given the description that you are giving us, you knew this man. Coming into the sense of Meiwa, look at the exact description that is giving there. He knows who organized what. He knows where how the confessions went about, to whom or who was taking down the confessions. All that he says is that I was not a lead investigator. Therefore, I never worked with him. But he knew each and every detail. That you still want to argue that he never worked with him. Hey, welcome to Planet Earth. Here's a Planet Earth. I know Planet Earth is something else. I'm like, you know, if it was under Judge Erasmus would have asked serious questions. He would have asked critical questions. And the witness would have come out of that stand knowing that, you know what, here I fumbled. But it's not Judge Erasmus. So, what are we going to say? You know, if it was a different judge, hey, Gininda wouldn't have gotten away with it. Gininda wouldn't have. I saw Judge Rata writing things down, and I said to myself, I'm interested to know what were you writing. I will hear on the judgment day. But maybe this is me. Maybe me now I'm wrong. Is there a logic in this? Like, you know, this is the part that, to me, the proceedings, let me get a date. The proceedings of the 5th of June, 2025, for me, this is where Mnisi went for a kill. This is the point that Mnisi built towards, and this is the most important point of the day. You see, the point that I've just shared today, it destroys all the lies that they didn't know each other. In fact, it tells us, I don't know who, but I do remember that there was a time where somebody once asked a question that it looks like even the arrangement, one of my sources in the South African Police Service once told me that, Bongs, you see the arrangement of Metro Police, it's not supposed to be. That person says, we have all the unit in the South African Police Service, SAPS. For this man to have gone to Metro Police, it says something. That person says, you know what, there's something here that is wrong, and I speak as a person who works in the management. I know that this is not supposed to be the case. You know what it says? Gininda worked with people whom he was comfortable with. In fact, to make this point, Gininda comes and tells us that he doesn't know Mjiako. And then information emerged that, no, but you've once worked with Mjiako. But still he wants you and I to believe that he doesn't know Mjiako. That's why I said welcome to planet Earth. You know what? If these people if somehow they ended up winning this case, it's fine. I mean, there's nothing that the defense could have done. But I want you to give credit to Mnisi. The fact that, look at the cases look at how far he has gone. The fact that he brings in this case that happens as far back as 2013-14. Look at the case that he brought about LPC and Tulima Donsel. Did you notice that? It shows us something about Mnisi. Let us believe Mnisi when he says, when I am doing my things, my consultations, my preparation of a trial, I am thorough. Believe him. He is indeed thorough. Believe him when he says so. Let us take this moment and give him credit. We'll talk about what happens in court. You know what? We'll deal with that on a separate video. I am preparing and compiling the evidence thereon. We will deal with all of those things. For now, focus on Mnisi. We will deal with the fact that, because I saw a lot of people saying, yeah, we stand with the judge. How come he wants to go to combat marathon? And I'm like, how? Oh, so combat marathon is a problem. Mnisi must be questioned about going to combat marathon, where he's going to take a day. But the very same judge, he was unprovoked. He was 110% willing to give Gininda 3 months. We'll talk about that. There's not even a single organization that have done that. It took the defense to say, nope. Go and check in all the organizations. This has never been done. We are setting a bad precedent. It took the defense to stop him from that. The JP was not worried about the progress of the trial. The accused or being deprived, justice denied, justice what. It was never a problem. Because Gininda was studying. He needed to be given 3 months study leave. And the defense lawyer is asking a day. Minus 29 days. The 3 days composed of 3, 6, 9. Minus 59 days out of the days that he was willing to give to Gininda when Gininda was studying. He's just asking for a day. 1. The 59 is going to be back at work. No, it's a problem. A big one. We make a meal out of it. 1 day. I'm saying to you, leave that. We are coming. I'm compiling evidence for that. I'm going to show you something about Judge. Don't worry. We are coming to that. Leave that. Just focus on Yabona here. I'm now of the view, and I'm of a strong view that the Senzo Meyiwa case, everyone who participated there knew each other. I am of a strong view that there is no independency amongst these people. Never. I am of a strong view that from investigators to the people that were accompanying the investigators when they were when they could have been in danger, everybody knew someone knew somebody there. I'm of the view that during the investigation of this trial, I am of the view that they chose themselves because they were confident in themselves. 2, there's a person that once raised this valid point here, and that person once said, in other cases, normally, on other cases, the state, when trials goes to the magistrate, they will be given to a different state prosecutor, and then when it goes to the high court, then a new prosecutor will take over from there. And this person says, how come Baloyi started with this trial from as far back as it was in Boksburg? He worked on the trial, has never been changed until up there. This now, to me, creates an idea that these people, all of these people, knows each other. They trust each other. I'm of the view, thirdly, that Makubo and Buthelezi were not part and parcel of the scheme. Hence, they were booted out. They were strategically booted out because they were not part and parcel of this shenanigans that were happening. I'm of the view that most people who participated here knew each other one way or the other. But in order for them to make it look like, I know we didn't know each other, they had to go there and there, find people that they needed to find people that they are not necessarily familiar with them to make it look like, no, we didn't know each other, so that from somebody from the system shouldn't pick it up. But now I have to question even the likes of Steyn. I have to ask questions now to say, nah, but Steyn, judging from what I'm seeing here, are you do you mean to tell me that you were never part and parcel of this, gang? Hi, guys, nah. Hi. I am convinced. I'm a man born under sin, subject to correction. Probably I'm wrong. I will admit. I'll be the first to admit. Probably I'm wrong. But I'm just connecting the dots here. I'm not gonna bother myself listening to the re-examination done by Baloyi, who's bringing evidence through back doors. I'm not gonna bother that. Cause Valenji, that thing, there's literally that we can gain there. You understand? So I'm only interested to hear who's the next witness, and that's the most important thing to me. Other than that, I'm not interested at all. I'm not. So you're going to have to tell me in the comment section below, what has been your revelation now that Gininda's cross-examination has finally come to an end? By the way, we are still going back to Mr. Mangena. Mangena is still coming back, by the way. Don't forget. I'm worried. I'm just wondering, who are they going to call after Mangena? Who's going to be called by the state before they close their case? But it looks like we are moving a bit faster, provided they don't have other surprising witnesses that are lined up. Other than that, it looks like we have finally come to the end of the trial, of the state case, sorry. But we still need to get Umangena, that I'm definitely sure. Not unless they want to bring few or so, but honestly, it looks like we have come to the end of the state case.